ensures that at the end of your period of study with us, you are well prepared for your dream career. Management is about arranging and telling. Leadership is about nurturing and enhancing, said Tom Peters. As Pondicherry University's first academic entity, the erstwhile School of Management, now DMS, got established in 1986, and the School of Management now has 6 departments, namely DMS, our department, Department of Commerce, Department of Economics, Department of Tourism Studies, Department of Banking Technology, and Department of International Business, offering many MBA programs. Department of Management Studies has a unique position in the university by establishing the first MBA program in 1986. For the past 34 years, it has been catering to the needs of management education and research, besides providing consulting and training to corporate and government organizations through outreach programs. Its alumni has hold high and coveted positions in industry, government, and academia in India and abroad. DMS has been consistently ranked among India's top B schools by reputed magazines and other ranking organizations. In response to the demand from the industry, DMS has launched 2 new MBA programs, namely a 2-year full-time MBA Data Analytics and 3-year MBA part-time under self-financing mode from the academic year 2019-20. But for its flagship MBA program with dual specialization, DMS has a sanctioned strength of 148 seats plus foreign students and students from Andaman and Nicobar and from Army and Indian Air Force. And DMS has a sanctioned strength of 30 for MBA Data Analytics and 40 for MBA part-time. Part-time MBA caters to the needs of young working professionals to upgrade themselves, whereas MBA Data Analytics caters to the needs of community of analysts in the areas of research and business. In broad terms, quality planning consists of developing the products and processes required to meet customers' needs, said Joseph Juran, a popular American consultant. Though these courses prepare students for a successful professional career in management, while the first year for the regular course and the first 2 years for the part-time MBA course are devoted to the foundational courses, the final year would enable students to gain in-depth knowledge of the specialization of their chosen fields, and each student can choose dual specialization. The course structure of the MBA program comprises core and elective papers. Core papers equip students with conceptual knowledge in the basic areas of management. The elective papers help students to enhance their application-oriented skills in the chosen functional areas of management, such as finance, marketing, human resources, systems, and operations. For all MBA programs, weekly guest lectures by eminent personalities from both industry and academia, industrial visits, and placement training programs, workshops are organized. During the program, students undertake a minor project as well as a major project, which will give a really good exposure to the corporate setting. The well-reputed companies who have visited the campus year after year to recruit our students shows the quality of education imparted at DMS. The leading IT and ITES, private and public sector banks, Indian as well as multinational corporations, manufacturing, service, and technology-based companies visit DMS for recruitment of students. DMS has already launched talk series, DMS Alumni Talk Series, DMS Expert Talk Series, student development programs, career development programs, and today we are launching DMS International Talk Series with our distinguished speaker, Professor Lakmika Pereira. With its emphasis on strong industry academic interface, technology integrated management courses, and extracurricular activities, DMS lays foundation for your personal and career development. We conduct an annual flagship event, Synapse, to bridge the gap between industry and academia. During your stay here, you will forge lifelong bonds of friendship with your peers, which will become an important network of support for you in the years to come. DMS has well-connected alumni network of MBA graduates since 1986, about 2,300 plus alumni, and the alumni get together during the annual alumni meet Milan. And we have a number of functional academic clubs in DMS: Finance Club, Marketing Club, HR Club, Systems and Operations Club, Startup and Entrepreneurship Club, and DMS Analytics Club. And this year we have made it an online clubs, because through the LinkedIn pages, we are having interaction, online meetings every week. Each club is meeting, and we are updating the activities in the LinkedIn pages, because during this pandemic time, we are using online platform. DMS has MOU with international partnering universities such as Universities of East Paris, France, Changbuk National University, South Korea, and Koblenz University of Applied Sciences, Germany, which offers opportunities to study one semester, either third or fourth semester abroad, with a waiver of tuition fees. We have initiated many other MOUs and expect to begin very soon. The university also offers merit scholarship, merit cum means scholarship, Government of Pondicherry fellowship scholarship, and other meritorious scholarship. And Pondicherry University has developed student academic activity management system. We call it as SAMS, an online platform that is meant to manage the entire range of academic activities. The DMS is equipped with a seminar hall, air-conditioned classrooms, and a very good central library. And the university has 21 hostels in the campus, of which 13 are for boys and 8 are for girls. And we have health center, we have Indian Bank inside our campus, and post office is functioning, and a shopping complex is available, 4 canteens are functioning, and we have gyms for the fitness, and we also have dedicated student welfare wing and special reservation cell to take up the needs of the students. The greatest danger in times of turbulence is not the turbulence, it is to act with yesterday's logic, said Peter Drucker. So at DMS, we believe our purpose is not only to prepare students with the necessary skills to achieve their career goals, but also help them become strategic thinkers and leaders who add value to their community locally or globally. We are committed to building the business leaders of tomorrow. My advice to the new student is to take full advantage of the opportunities that we offer. The best way to predict future is to create it, said Peter Drucker. So we will work together to maintain healthy and safety standards while sustaining the academic excellence and personalized attention. Wishing you all the very best for a great academic journey at DMS. So with this few words, I invite our Honorable Dean, School of Management, Professor Chandrasekhar Rao sir, to offer his felicitation and inaugurate this 35th batch of MBA. Over to you, sir.
Thank you very much. I'm very happy to associate with this induction program. At the outset, let me welcome the guest of honor from Australia, Lashmika Periyar, and we are very happy to see that 35th batch of the MBA program is inaugurated online. I think this is this has never happened. I don't wish this to happen again. So, given the situation, we have made best use of the technology to organize classes as well as different talks and the issues relating to the management. Let me wish all the students who have joined this MBA program and a great days or great 2 years of program. I tell you, this 2 years of your stay will help you to create your next 30 years career. All our teachers are skillful enough to give you all the required inputs for making your career for the next 30 years. I invite you, this is a professional program, unlike other general postgraduate programs like MA, MSc or this type of thing. This is a professional program wherein every one of you are entering into a profession, more specifically the managing businesses. So today, I wish all of you to take a oath. This is not, we are not studying for just for a degree sake or a knowledge sake. We are all going to get into the arena of business management, managing bigger companies or bigger, the multinational companies, or making our own startups. See, this is the goal with which you have to take up this profession. So I invite all of you to take a oath today. Every one of you tell with me, I am born to do business. I am born to do business should be the slogan that I wish every one of you have to digest among yourself. Everything you have to start today onwards, everything is from a business perspective. As you walk on the roads, as you interact, or as you interact with executives, or you do internships or project works, everything is a business. Business is around us, and try to observe and learn many things from the surroundings around you. You have to start developing that skill of understanding the business. Let me also again say this catchword, I am not getting it from somewhere. In India, we know there is a particular state, the Gujarat state. Everyone wants to become a businessman. There's a pride in associating with the business. In the world, we know Israelis are known for this type of the commitment. So I request all of you, Government of India is calling for Make in India program, and Government of India is asking all of you to take up entrepreneurship or make a small beginning for startups. So this is the occasion, learn the MBA program for making your own business. Every business requires these skills, the functional areas on which the teachers are going to. Just look at your your HOD has started telling about lots of management gurus. She's quoting management gurus, their quotations, so as to emphasize that we look for everything should be for a particular purpose, with a purpose. The learning is for a purpose, and definitely we are looking for this batch to rise up from all the difficulties that we have today in the campuses, and take up and move towards a greater objectives or greater careers and greater targets, goals. With these few words, I wish all the newly joined students a great days in the campus for next 2 years to come. Thank you very much, and I again thank the external expert Lakshmika Perrier. Maybe I'm pronouncing wrongly, from Australia, for joining and breaking his time and associating with our MBA program. I am very thankful to you, sir, on behalf of my School of Management, on behalf of all my colleagues. Thank you for joining this induction program. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Professor Rao.
Thank you very much, Professor. And Professor is always a person who has been supporting to all the new initiatives in the DMS. And he is the chairman of the Innovation Council of Pondicherry University also. And he always gives us innovative ideas to make our department flourish in almost all the ways and means. Now, I take this golden opportunity to introduce the distinguished speaker of the day. Before that, I also wish to wish everyone a very happy National Educational Day. Today is the National Educational Day, and it is a very auspicious day as per Vastu also. And we are inaugurating this new batch on a very, very good day. And a very happy news for our external speaker, distinguished speaker, is after Biden has taken over as president, they have decided to rejoin Paris Climate Accord. Because you are a researcher in that emission disclosure, you will be happy to note that updates. And now about Professor Lakshmika Perera, I am very proud to introduce him because he is first our collaborator in the SPARK project, which is an international collaborative project sponsored by Ministry of Education scheme for promotion of academic and research collaboration. And he is the Director Pathways and Partnerships and Director Education Center for Integrated Reporting, Faculty of Business and Law, Deakin University, Melbourne, Australia. He is also a board member of International Integrated Reporting Council for all the academic activities. And Professor Lakshmika Perera is professionally qualified as CA and CPA. He is a fellow of Institute of Public Accountants, fellow of Institute of Financial Accountants, and a member of the Australian Institute of Company Directors. And he has been working on technology, course design, cloud-based curriculum design, assessment design, and teaching. He has played a key role in introducing an ERP gaming platform, Monsoon Sim, as a teaching and assessment tool, Deakin Jenny like Siri or Cortana like platform for education. Professor Lakshmika Pereira is also a researcher par excellence, specializing in corporate reporting, professionalization of accountants and business professionals, and accounting education, and has published many of his works in A-star and A category journals ranked by ADBC. Professor Lakshmika is mindfulness trainer and lifelong learner. So with this few words, I invite Professor Lakshmika to give a motivational talk to our students, and this is the first international talk series for our academic year. Over to Professor Lakshmika.
Thank you, Prof. Thank you very much indeed for that very kind introduction. I'm just going to share my screen with you now. Bear with me. Right. You should be able to see that now.
Yeah, we are able to. Yes.
Okay, brilliant. So I'm just going to go on to presentation mode. Can you confirm that you can see this?
Yes, yes, we are able to see, Prof.
Yes, we can see.
Brilliant. So I'm going to talk about the paradigm shift in corporate governance after COVID-19 pandemic. I can understand how the pandemic has affected us, but also I'm going to put it in a way that it actually helps the MBAs to understand and where they can fit in the grand scheme of things in relation to this. So Professor Charumati explained a little bit about my background. I am a lifelong learner. As you can see, I have studied all my life. My background, or my first degree, is in information systems. It's an honors degree in artificial intelligence and cloud-based security. I've got a couple of master's degrees, and this year I did a certificate course in leadership in the University of Michigan, and a one-year executive certificate course at Harvard University, the Harvard Kennedy School, which specializes in nonprofit organizations and governance. So I'm still learning. I'm actually, again, this should be a good motivation for the MBAs not to ever stop learning. As you know, we all come from the same background. I come originally from Sri Lanka, and given that we come from the South Asian subcontinent, we actually value learning. So whenever you have the opportunity to learn and progress, make use of it. That is my first advice. Okay, my relationship with India goes back a long time. My ancestry, though I'm originally from Sri Lanka, my ancestry is from India. I am what you call a distant descendant of the Kauravas, or the Kauravas, or the Kurus, as you call them, from the great Mahabharata time. Again, that was going back a couple of generations, but I have visited India many times. I've visited Indian School of Business at Hyderabad. I visited Delhi, a number of places in Delhi, Mumbai, and obviously I was in Pondicherry last year for about a month, which I really enjoyed working there and also talking and meeting fellow students as well as your faculty as well. I was also an invited speaker at the National Cost Accountants Congress, where I had the honor of presenting to the Honorable Piyush Goyal, the Minister for Railway, Commerce and Industry. That was early this year, actually. So again, the relationship with Pondicherry and Deakin goes back a long time, and we have a very strong relationship. As I said, I was physically there late last year. And we also had Professor Charumati visit us in Melbourne, as you can see here. We went and met a few people here as well. So again, I had a really good time. Thank you for the warm welcome you all gave me last year. I really appreciate that as well. So we also have a federal government grant which we are working on, and also the strong collaborations continue in that context. Okay, the importance of your MBA journey. We need to figure out where this fits in all together. Okay? So one of the first things that I want to mention is that the MBA would give you the necessary leadership and people management skills, networking skills, HR skills, including managing difficult situations, marketing skills and image management, accounting skills, information systems, including data analytics, and overall good business decision making. And it's also one of the things that I always promote is for everyone to try to do a part-time job if possible when you're doing the MBA. And I consider that to be one of the most important things. Now, I think somebody mentioned about placements while doing the MBA, and I think that's one of the most wonderful initiatives, and I strongly encourage everyone to take part in that opportunity if given that chance. Right. Now, let's look at MBAs and the post-COVID recovery in terms of the context of Pondicherry as well as in India. Okay, so if you look at the current status of the coronavirus, there are 51 million cases around the world. That is not a small number. Okay? And there are 1.2 million deaths, and 36 million people have recovered. So there are 14 million active cases and 37 million closed cases. So that gives you the context of the imbalance that the coronavirus has caused in the current global context. Now, in terms of the pandemic at the moment, you can see the biggest killer in terms of viruses in the past has been the bubonic plague, whereas the coronavirus is not all that big at the moment. Now, the coronavirus would be somewhere close to the Asian flu, somewhere here. This data is a slightly older, but the damage caused or the lives lost would be sometime in the 1.1 million, 1.2 million mark. Okay. Now, the economic preparedness of COVID-19 in a global setting is another concern that we need to look at. If you look at this map, we talk about the exposure levels and the preparedness. Okay, in terms of exposure for exporting of goods and services, India is in a very good position, because if you look at this map, the first map here, in terms of the dependency of it, it's between 0 to 22% in terms of export of goods in terms of India. So in that sense, India is relatively isolated due to the economic fallout of COVID-19, which is a positive. However, in terms of preparedness, that is the second diagram here, India is considered to be somewhat prepared. Okay, so most prepared, somewhat prepared, and least prepared. So India would fall under the category of more prepared as opposed to some of the other countries. Sri Lanka, for example, is where I come from, would be considered as least prepared. Australia, on the other hand, where I am at the moment, is considered to be quite prepared. Okay, so in that context.
Hello, sir. Good morning, sir. Sir, your slide is not moving, sir.
Okay, is it moving now?
No, sir. Yeah, now it is fine, sir.
Okay,
now it is okay, sir.
All right. So I'll keep it in this mode. It might be a little bit easier for you all to follow, so bear with me.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. So in terms of the economic consequences of COVID-19, we're looking at the actual loss in US dollars million in terms of a GDP. Okay. If you look at Australia, we are looking at a 22.437 or rather 22,437 million or $22 billion worth of loss. If you look at the South Asian subcontinent, we're looking at a 29 billion loss. European Union, $290 billion loss. China, $111 billion loss. So these are big numbers. So you can see that the economic consequences are significant when it comes to the COVID-19 and its effects. Okay. So the effect of COVID-19 on corporate governance has become a significant issue. Now, it's interesting that I today had a chat with the board in Sri Lanka, which I am involved with, and they said that they are unable to have their annual general meeting because of restrictions on COVID. And due to that reason, it is interesting to know that the legislation and the law doesn't provide room for online AGMs to be held in a Sri Lankan context, whereas in Australia, there is room, there is some scope for having online AGM. So this is something that some of the organizations, some of the countries need to look at in going forward. So there are very profound challenges globally to every aspect of life and businesses, as you know it. Okay, I'm sure you've experienced it yourself. As Professor Rao rightfully said, the current situation where this is the first time you're having an online induction program. So again, life has changed. And also the SMEs and large corporates are affected by COVID-19 in various degrees, particularly the SME sector. And Professor Charumati would be able to give a little bit more insight that the studies that we have done, the effects of IFRSs on SMEs, you will see that the SMEs are significantly affected because of COVID-19 in one way or another, less so than the big corporates. The big corporates are less affected, but the SMEs are significantly more affected because of COVID-19. The effects of business in the short, medium, and long term are significant because of this. They are saying that some of this will not go away for the next 3 to 5 years to come. So we will be suffering the consequences of COVID-19 far beyond the next time horizon, the next year or the year after. So I'm predicting that this issue will take at least anywhere between 5 to 7 years to recover, to be honest. Okay. So this goes to the implications of corporate governance overall based on 6 aspects, which I consider. One is the governance aspect of it. The second is the resources that we have, the business models of organizations, the external environment, the outcomes, and communication with stakeholders internally and externally to an organization. And it's very pleasing to hear some of the things that Professor Charumati said earlier about the innovations and the technology that has been used in Pondicherry University. So that's a classic example of organizations adapting to change in the given context. Right, let's just go to the next one. So there are some issues to consider in terms of governance. So one of the things I want to highlight is the potential effect of the purpose or the vision and mission of an organization, the governance structure. Does the board have any lack of expertise? Is there a succession planning in place which is adequate? For example, if somebody loses their life because of the pandemic, who's on the board? What are the succession planning? If the CEO succumbs to the coronavirus, what is the succession planning? All these things need to be considered. Executives and board compensation strategies need to be looked at again. Future risk and opportunities, strategy and resource allocation, current and future performance of the organization, current and future outlook of the organization. Now, how has business activities changed significantly because of the coronavirus and the pandemic? For example, what is the traditional business model of an organization? How does that change, and how can we incorporate the changes to online business? Now, these are some of the things that as MBAs you would need to think about going forward. For example, you would need to look at how to transform businesses, not just to depend on face-to-face businesses, but also to consider, in case of a worst-case scenario, to look at online businesses as well. And that is why Amazon, eBay, and things like this have really succeeded significantly. Amazon is the #1 and the most valued company in the world at the moment. Its owner is one of the richest man in the world. Why? Because he looked at this from a very early perspective in terms of innovation and brought it through. So what is the next innovation? That is where you come in as MBA graduates or future MBA graduates. What is the innovation aspect that you bring in? Let me go to the next slide. Professor Charumati, I believe I have 30 minutes at most, so I'll finish it in about 20 to 25 minutes, and that will give a few minutes to ask questions as well, okay?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. So in terms of resources, we need to consider financial consideration, capital asset consideration, intellectual property consideration, workforce consideration, effects on the environment, and inter and intra-business relationships. So I frame this around the integrated reporting framework in terms of the 6 capitals. So financial capital, manufactured capital, intellectual capital, human capital, natural capital, and social and relationships capital. So all of these different capitals in terms of resources will be affected due to the pandemic. For example, if you take Pondicherry University, your use of classrooms are not happening at the moment. So is it worthwhile in the future to depend on classrooms alone? I would strongly encourage Pondicherry University to consider a mixed method of delivery for classes. So not all classes need to be face-to-face. Have a mix so that in case a future pandemic comes, you can easily and seamlessly move your on-campus students to an off-campus approach. So that's something that you need to consider. And Deakin was in that position. For us, the transition was seamless because we have a parallel online class every year. We've been having that for the past 12 to 14 years. So for us to move students from on-campus class to a cloud class was virtually a click of a button, which makes things very much easier. So consider those things. And also for the MBAs, in terms of your business, you need to start considering these aspects as well. Right. In terms of the business model, how would the inputs of a business model change? So the pandemic has completely changed the very fabric of a business model of an organization. So for the MBAs, you will understand, you will learn about business models, the different business models of organizations. How would this change? So Deakin's business model, for example, has changed to an online service provision for the remainder of this year and sometime early next year as well. Does the current business activities suit the future? In some cases, for example, offshoring and supply chains. Now, some of these countries are offshoring products and services to other countries. So we've seen that the dependence on certain countries, for example, our dependence, if you look at Australia, the dependence on China has really created a problem in terms of the supply chains because of the pandemic and border closures. So what has happened is that many countries are looking towards internalization. Internalization is the opposite of globalization. So they are looking at increasing production in country and reducing the offshoring of manufacturing to more onshoring, and also having stronger supply chains. Outputs of productions and how they may be affected should also be considered. There are outcomes intended. Do we now start catering for internal markets as opposed to external markets? For example, India has a very large market to cater for. So India is in a very good position to capitalize on growth and post-COVID recovery. Okay. So the presentation I did for the chartered accountants earlier this year looked at mobilizing the forces to create SME. So I presented on that. If you Google my name on YouTube, you can have a look at that presentation that I made for the chartered accountants. Okay. The external environment, for example, has also significantly changed. How has the external environment changed? Because of the pandemic, there is less face-to-face contact, more online interactions. How do the inter-country relationships have changed? For example, Australia has closed its borders. Some other countries have also closed their borders. So that has created individual bubbles, and that creates a bit of a strained relationship with some of the countries. And even within countries, even within states, in India, there are different states. So there may be some different restrictions based on your different states. So that also has to be navigated. Share markets and price of company stocks and also overall indices have significantly changed. For example, online company share prices have gone up, and face-to-face provision share prices have gone down. So it just shows something. Due to the volatility, there are potential additional threats from the external environment, such as takeovers by companies trying to take over other organizations. So this is something to look at and consider as well. In terms of outcomes perspective, the issue to consider from an outcomes perspective is to look at the economic outcome due to job losses and related outcomes. COVID-19 is a disruptor for change and challenges how we live life and how we do things. Instead of looking at it as a negative, we need to look at it as a disruptor for change. So we can't stop pandemics. We can't fight the universe. We can't fight nature. All we can do is to adapt. So we need to look at it from that perspective and make the most of it. Don't look at it as a threat. Look at it as an opportunity to evolve, opportunity to emancipate. Okay. So there are social impacts, including negative impacts and also positive impacts. The community togetherness has increased. I can see that, as a country, India is coming together because of COVID-19. And that is a positive. And also there's other issues such as mental health and well-being. Because of isolation, because of lockdowns, there are mental health issues. There are people losing jobs. There are people who are finding it difficult, particularly in my home country, Sri Lanka, the day workers. They are not being able to get their daily wages. They don't have money to buy goods and services for them. So these are some of the negatives that we are facing at the moment. Community perceptions. There's also a stigma saying that COVID-19 is very bad. If you get it, or it's viewed as a very bad disease. That's not the case. You see, we have to change that interpretation. There are educational approaches, outcomes as well, and security-related outcomes. So cyber threats and physical threats which have arisen because of these particular effects of the virus as well. Also, communications perspectives. We need to consider that as well. How do you communicate to key stakeholders in terms of corporate reporting as well as any other reporting framework? For example, Zoom has become one of the key ways in how we communicate, or an online platform. In your case, you're using Google Meets. The AGMs and other statutory meetings, can they be held virtually? Some organizations or some legislations may not allow for this. Governments may need to consider this. And you need to, as MBA graduates, consider the businesses that you work for. What is your fail-safe? What is your worst-case scenario strategy? All these things need to be taken into consideration. Continued disclosures due to disclosure requirements of companies may also change, because a pandemic may completely change the stance of a company's viability. All these things need to be considered. So the communication with internal stakeholders, virtual meetings, and working from home. So we've actually been in lockdown from the 1st of April, and we were just released from lockdown a couple of weeks ago. So we've effectively been isolated at home for about 7 months, believe it or not. That's a long time to be home on lockdown or on curfew-like scenario, okay? So we had our children schooling from home. We had work from home. We had different studies. We had to rearrange our entire house to set up study spaces and workspaces in different parts of the home. So we need to adapt in that aspect as well. So this is where integrated thinking comes in. Integrated thinking is the active consideration by an organization of the relationships between its various operating and functional units, and the capitals that the organization use and it affects. Integrated thinking leads to integrated decision-making and actions that consider the creation of value over the short, medium, and long term. So consider yourselves as MBA graduates or future graduates. Your primary goal is to create value for the organizations that you work in. If you have that viewpoint, everything else falls into place. So it's creating value, okay? So you can look at this framework. I'm not going to spend too much time. If you Google IR framework, it will give you a lot of information on it. There are broad implications in terms of the pandemic. The post-COVID world is not the one that we left behind before. Things are going to change significantly, and our lives will never be the same again after the pandemic. We just have to accept that and start moving on. Reconsider how you would act within your own place of employment and consider some of the aspects that we have discussed today. See the relevance of IR and integrated thinking in your current context, and see how useful IR and IT would be in addressing not only corporate governance, but also your ecosystem of the organization, your own ecosystems. If not already done so, consider going down the path of integrated report. Grow the SME sector further and make use of the people who are home-based, such as women who are staying at home moms. Take the maximum opportunity with the workforce in going forward in your own state. For example, in Pondicherry, use that workforce to help SMEs drive the recovery pathway. Mental health and well-being is another significant post-COVID implication, particularly for MSME sector, micro, small, and medium enterprises. Work as a collective in facing pandemic together as a society and as a community. Now, I am an ardent follower of philosophy. I've read a lot of ancient texts, everything from Bhagavad Gita to the Mahabharata to the Ramayana to the Kabbalah to all these other religious texts. I'm going to quote one of the greatest philosophers who I consider to be from the Indian subcontinent, Swami Vivekananda. So in terms of some of the quotes of the wisdoms of Swami Vivekananda, one of the things he said about education is, he asked, what is education? Is it book learning? No. Is it diverse knowledge? No. It is the training by which the current and expression of will are brought under the control and become fruitful. And that is what is called education. So be focused in what you do, in what you study. No one was ever really taught by another. I always say that to my students, and I always practice it. I'm not a teacher. I am a guide. As a guide, we always learn from each other. The external teachers offers only suggestions, which rouses the internal teacher within us to work to understand things. Also, last but not least, all power is within you. You can do anything and everything as a person. Arise, awake, stop not till thy goal is reached. These are not my words. These are the words of the great Swami Vivekananda. So I have come to an end. So I have kept my presentation within the 25 minutes, and I have 5 minutes to take on any questions or queries that you have.
Thank you, Professor Lakmika.
Pleasure.
And I think we will have, they are all very new students, so maybe they will be hesitating to ask questions. But I thank you so much for reiterating the importance of integrated thinking and the COVID related issues, what they are facing. And we have to learn the new normal to have a new lease of life. So I again thank you for sparing your valuable time, because he is one of the busiest guy in Deakin University I have seen. He has n number of meetings every day with the boards and other professional bodies. So really sincere thanks from DMS, Professor. So now the remaining program will go with the introduction of faculty and the students, and you're welcome to be with us, and if your time permits. And now we start our regular program of orientation.
Thank you very much, Prof. Thank you.
Thank you. Now, so international talk series have commenced. And now this batch is so fortunate that we started this batch with the International Talk Series 1. And now I request all the faculty members of DMS to get self-introduced. And let me first introduce myself, or I can request our Dean also to introduce first. Then I will introduce, then we will go one by one. Sir, you can introduce, sir, with your utilization and other things.
No, if bandwidth permits, all of us can open the
Yes,
audio
sir.
video as well. Am I audible?
Yeah.
Okay. So maybe now that the students, they
Yes,
know,
sir.
they know that I am basically coming from another department like banking technology. I specialize in the area of finance, and of course, all of us work together in the school. We all belong to different departments based upon our electives, based upon our specializations. As a dean, I have great, great hope on the DMS, because that is the flagship department which has given birth to many other departments. So rather, I say this is the mother department which has been for last 30 years, it has been 35 years, it has been raising the flag and able to make many young students like you. I think their total personality changed during the last, when they stay in this campus. So I request all the students to take the advantage of it. We will be, in the light of this type of environment, we will all be interacting on different occasions and on different student meets. And thank you for giving me this opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. And I am Professor B. Charumati, currently heading the Department of Management Studies. I specialize in the area of accounting and finance. I teach accounting for managers and finance elective papers like financial services management, bank financial management, and I introduced a lot of industry relevant papers in the finance stream. and I'm currently handling the international collaborative project SPARK on IFRS, International Financial Reporting Standards. And I have introduced that as an elective in the curriculum as well. And Professor Lakmika was there to teach one of our batches as an elective paper. And I'm also a board member of Pondicherry University Step Up Hub, which is an incubation facility. And the current batch and the existing students are invited to bring their innovative ideas to incubate in that startup hub. So with this, I welcome you all to DMS. Now over to Professor Paneerselvam. Is he there, Professor Paneerselvam?
He has called me, madam. He could not get connected.
Okay, Professor Paneerselvam, because of the issues in the network, because we have some limited system. Paneerselvam sir, are you there? Okay, let me introduce Professor Paneerselvam. He is one of the senior. And others, please mute your microphone, please. Yeah. So Professor Paneerselvam is the senior most professor in our department who is specialized in the area of operations and systems. And he has written many popular textbooks in the area of operations, DBMS, research methodology, which are all recommended by many universities in India and abroad. He is one of the popular authors in India, and he has done a lot of consultancies to the industries, and he has held positions like dean, head so many times, and now he is the operations professor, senior most available in our department. Yeah, next is over to Nambirajan sir. Professor Nambirajan sir, please. Professor Nambirajan sir.
Sir, unmute பண்ணுங்க.
Professor Nambirajan sir, we are not able to hear.
Nambirajan sir, unmute பண்ணுங்க.
Speak, unmute and speak, sir. Switch on your video.
Video இருக்கார் மேடம். மைக் தான்.
Sir, can you speak? Nambi sir, please speak. Nambi sir, are you speaking?
ஏதோ பிரச்சனை போல இருக்கு மேடம்.
Okay, I will again introduce Professor Nambirajan also. He is also our senior professor in operations area, and he is now specializing in supply chain management, and he has organized very renowned conferences of Operations Business Society, and he also held the position of head of the department earlier, and now he is one of the professors available in operations area in the department. He will be teaching you the management information system and supply chain management related papers. Now over to Dr. Chitra Sivasubramaniam. Madam, are you available? Dr. Chitra? Others, keep your microphone mute, please. So I again have privilege to introduce Dr. Chitra Sivasubramaniam, who is specialized in the area of human resources management, and she also teaches HR elective papers. She recently completed her term as head of the department, and she is now in charge of coordinating the new recruitment for the university also. So with these few words, I invite Professor Victor to introduce himself.
Good morning, everyone. It's a pleasure meeting the new batch and the 35th batch of MBAs from the Department of Management Studies. Congratulations on your admission to our MBA program. We would love to see you physically in our campus, but I hope it will happen soon in the coming months. But in the meantime, I'm glad we are taking off online, and I'm sure it'll help us to connect. My name is Victor. I am an alumnus of this department from the class of 1996. I'm a computer science and engineering graduate. Then I did my MBA. Subsequently, I finished my PhD from Cochin University. I'm in the marketing area in this department. And I think in your second semester, I will see you in the selling and negotiation skills workshop. I stay on campus, so I spend 24/7 in the university. And I also coordinate the international relations of our department. And it's been a pleasure, helping students to gain some international exposure through these student exchange opportunities. Maybe a little later, I'll tell you more about it, and best wishes. Thank you.
Thank
Madam,
you, Professor.
Madam.
We are going to have exclusive sessions on all these topics. Definitely, we will give more information.
Madam.
Yes, Professor Rajan.
Yeah, now first, 1 minute. I thank our HOD, Professor Sarma, introduced me, but there was some technical problem. So 1 minute. So I welcome all my first year students, our first year students to the department. This department has a very good history in terms of quality and merit, and all your seniors are well placed throughout the world. So Madam has introduced about me. So I welcome you all on behalf of the department. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Now I request Professor Uma Chandrasekharan, who is the senior most faculty in the university, to introduce herself. Can you unmute Professor Uma?
Good morning, everybody. It's nice to see you all. My screen is full of your tiles with your small faces and your other profile pictures that you have put in here. I'll be meeting you in the first semester for communication skills. So I have to completely revamp, as Professor Lakmika was mentioning. I have to absolutely redo the model that I was following all this time for teaching communication skills. It has to be only online communication skills now. I specialize in marketing. And I teach a lot of papers, specialization papers in the area of marketing. I currently also hold the Dean position of Dean of International Relations for Pondicherry University, which means I kind of oversee the coordination of all the memoranda of understanding with all the foreign institutions, as well as the Indian institutions, and all visits of students abroad. The departments will recommend the students, but I make it easier for you to get your visa and really fly away. Right now, as Dean International Relations, it's my concern that we should send very good quality students abroad. So I recommend that right from your day one, you become aware of the international opportunities and prepare yourself to be a very able candidate that we'll be very happy to send from our department to the foreign universities. Professor Victor has coordinated some of the MOUs which are active now. University of East Paris, almost every semester we have been sending 2 students. Every year we have been sending 2 students. That will happen in your second year, but your groundwork should start right in your first year. Okay? And Koblenz University of Applied Sciences, that has been a total bonanza that Victor has been able to design, because a European university can apply for something called the Erasmus funding, which you get €850 and your airfare paid for you. So it's a very good opportunity to gain an international exposure. My concern is we should send good quality students. So I want you to start your groundwork right from day one. Okay, your countdown starts right now. We'll be happy to have you, see you in class and interact more. I don't want to take more of your time. Thank you very much for this.
Thank you, Professor Uma. So,
Madam,
Madam,
Professor Rajan, just a humble submission. There's information in terms of senior most faculty I am the CMO's faculty in Pondicherry University. Yeah, as such. There is some
Okay,
information gap. Just to tell you, because people should not mistake.
It's okay.
But no.
You both are senior faculty. to us.
Yeah, may help to submission only, nothing else.
Okay, okay. Thank you, sir. And so now you would have understood that it is not only our students and alumni or showing the leadership, it is also our faculty colleagues who are assuming lot of higher positions in the administrative side. Like from School of Management, people are assuming lot of big positions, like FO is from School of Management, Finance Officer, and the Controller of Examinations from our Commerce Department. So School of Management always take lead in offering leadership and the required inputs. Now I request Professor Kasilingam to introduce himself. He is one of the active person in the department. He always supports department in all the activities. Yes, sir. Over to Dr. Kasilingam.
Thank you, madam. Good morning, my dear friends. I am Dr. R. Kasilingam. I have completed my MBA from PhD College of Technology. So I will tell my qualification little later. How I am connected with you. In the first semester, I will be taking business law because I am a Bar Council registered lawyer. I did my BL from Madras Law College and ML from Madras University. Then in the second semester, I will be taking financial management for you because I have completed my CMA, that is Cost and Management Accountant. When I have studied, it was Cost and Works Accountant. We call it as ICWA. And I am also a company secretary. Then the third semester, I will be taking SAPM, Security Analysis and Portfolio Management. So that is the paper related with capital markets. I was in that area of industry for 6 years. I'm a person having an industry experience for 11 years and the teaching experience, which I feel most suitable for a business school teaching. Then I will be taking a business that is advanced data analysis paper in the fourth semester. So I am into analytics now because I feel that this is the area people are talking about analytics every time. So in fact, I have designed the course for the data analytics MBA. We got UGC approval, all these things. After that, Venkatesh Kumar has taken over as a coordinator. So this is what I will be doing. Then, of course, I will be guiding students who are doing projects, who are doing in finance. Then, with respect to this year, second year students, I am the placement coordinator. So my task is to place everybody. That is my goal now. So even during the pandemic time, we feel we should place. That is my target. So everybody should leave the campus at least 2 papers in his hand. Then I am also the coordinator for Synapse event, which is a flagship event, as HOD madam was telling. So this is my connection with you. Then how I am connected, what I am doing for the university. I am the nodal officer for RTI, that is a Right to Information Act. And I am also the nodal officer for public grievance. Anybody is having grievance, they can put it in the website. We will resolve it within 45 days. RTA means we will give information within 30 days. So this is my connection with the university. So now what I want to tell you is nowadays, I am talking about Tamil literature wherever I go. So there is a great saint, Thiruvallur. We have studied how Thiruvallur is connected with management. In fact, Madurai Kamaraj University, where MBA department hostel is Thiruvallur hostel. So in one poem he said, Vellathanaya Malarnitam, which means, so the depends upon water level, the floor will be there. So I am used to say, depends upon hard work, your achievement will be there. So the same saint, he said, so when you put in hard work, okay, you can do something which is not even possible by the God. So certain thing God cannot do, but you can do by hard work. So we used to say the success is the function of P plus O. Okay, so preparation and opportunity. I feel we have enough opportunity. So the country is developing, though there was a slack in the last few years, but our country is a giant country. So wherever people could not get anything, they have to come to India. So country is growing, country will grow, the opportunities will come. So the whatever may be the growth, even it is 4%, that we call it as a Hindustan growth rate, which is more than the population growth rate. So the employment is growing, but everything is depends upon what work preparation you are doing. Because every university, every department, everybody, see, I am going for a guard driving. So that person who is teaching is MBA. So therefore, yesterday one person has come to repair my stove. I asked him, is that I'm an MBA? So everybody will be an MBA in that context. So everybody will be an MBA, but what is your skill? What is your knowledge? Only that will fetch you. So you make use of the 2 years opportunity here, and we all the faculty members are available to you at any point in time. You can approach anybody, but your task before is develop, learn as much things possible, utilize the facilities available in the university, and grow more and more. With these few words, thank you very much for the opportunity.
Thank you, Professor Kasilingam. I also handle the placement responsibility for over 9+ years. I always tell every batch that they have to fix the targeted salary for their batch. So you fix the salary, CTC, and work towards it. Definitely you will achieve it. And so I thank you, Professor Kasi, and I now invite Professor Venkatesh Kumar to introduce himself. Professor Venkatesh? Yeah.
Thank you, madam. Good morning. Good morning to all. This is Dr. Venkatesh. I'm a faculty member in Department of Management Studies. My area of interest is quantitative methods. I will be handling all quantitative related papers and analytics related papers. So we will have a lot of talking during the class time. Welcome to Department of Management Studies to you all.
Thank you, Professor Venkatesh. And he is a very simple person, and he won't tell more about himself. I have to add some more things. He is coordinating the MBA Data Analytics course, and he has been arranging all the institute interface activities required for that course. And he is now the face of the MBA Data Analytics course, and we are going to have shortly the inauguration of MBA Data Analytics, maybe in the coming week. Thank you, sir. And now I request Dr. Riyasuddin to introduce himself. Yes, sir. Over to.
Thank you, ma'am. I'm audible?
Yeah.
Yes.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Department of Management Studies. I'm Dr. Riyasuddin, specialized in HR and OB. I'll be handling all the papers related to the HR and OB. For the first years, I will be handling the management process, that is otherwise called as principles of management. The subsequent years, I will be handling HR-related specialized papers. Okay. I'm also Deputy Dean, Students' Welfare of our university. So if any welfare related, you may report to me. I will take up your grievances to the higher authorities and get it solved. And I am a retired Air Force personnel. I am very proud to say that I am an air veteran. I have served for this country for about 20 years. I would like to call myself as a junior faculty here in my department, so that you can call my age younger. Okay. And I used to have a class in an interactive manner. My competency is game-based learning, but during this period, we may not have such a physical environment. If God permits, we will have soon the physical environment and the physical classes, so that I can show my kind of teach you or the lesson by conducting few games related to the concepts. And finally, once again, I welcome you all and have a great career or the period here in our department. Okay, I would like to say only one thing to you: commit yourself for learning. Such commitment will take you further, and you will have a great career as well in the future. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Professor Riyasuddin. He also helps the student unconditionally in terms of training relating to placement also. So with this few words, now I request Professor Motilal to introduce himself. Actually, he was having some uncertainty as he was traveling. I think he is not here with us. Now I can introduce him. Dr. Motilal is also another senior faculty in the department who is specialized in the area of public systems management, and he is also specialized in marketing, and he is a very innovative person. He takes care of the infrastructure requirement of the department, and he is also now taking care of the real infrastructure requirements like building and the first Dr. Rajeshwari to introduce herself.
Good morning, everyone.
You
Am
can-
I audible?
Yeah.
Good morning, everyone. I join with all my faculty colleagues in welcoming all the first years to this campus. My name is Rajeshwari. I am specialized in the area of marketing as well as in operations. Though I may not be handling any paper in the first semester, I'll be meeting you in the second, third, fourth semesters. In spite of meeting you in the regular classes, I'll be meeting you in the weekends because this year I am coordinating with the talk series which have been scheduled in the weekends. So you will be having specially actually scheduled talk series from industry experts, from your alumni as well as international speakers in the weekends. So you people will have to just join us in the weekends to listen to all those expert talks. So which will help you to learn something more than from your regular classes. So just enjoy this campus and learn and just build your career with the kind of resources available in this campus. Have a nice 2 years as well as a perfect career just by using all the resources available in this campus. Welcome. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Rajeshwari. So from the day I took charge as head of the department, we have been taking conscious efforts to make more interaction with the industry experts. So that is how talk series have been organized every weekend. Now, with these few words, I invite Dr. Lavanya Lata to introduce herself. Dr. Lavanya? Dr. Lavanya is there? I think she is not there here. So now I introduce Dr. Lavanya. She is specialized in the area of human resource management and marketing, and she has 15 years of experience, and now she is in charge of organizing Milan, the alumni meet, along with the senior professor, Dr. Nambirajan. She will be coordinating the alumni meet of our department. And now I request Dr. Madan Mogan to introduce himself.
Madan sir, right, okay.
Good morning. I take this opportunity to welcome the 35th batch of DMS, the family of DMS. And I am Dr. G. Madan Mohan, assistant professor, and I am an eager learner of economics, finance, and entrepreneurship. Of course, my passion is towards disability, and I'm trying my best to see whether research can be done with the help of our scholars or students in the field of disability, along with finance. Along with Kasanigam sir, I'll be coordinating this year's placement and synapse. And of course, formerly I was a liaison officer for the differently able. So any grievance In case any disabled students are having any grievance, they can approach me, and I try my best to get it sorted out. And I'm a postgraduate in commerce. Basically, I belong to commerce, and of course, I finished my master's in MBA also, and I did my MPhil and PhD from University of Madras. Right now, that's it. So, as Rajesh ma'am said, you can enjoy the campus as well as acquire knowledge, make the best use of the rich resources available. You can say that there are distinct professors, as our HOD pointed out. I take immense pride to say that I'm a part of DMS Pondicherry University, in which eminent professors and scholars such as Pandit sir are there. So I take immense pride in being a part of DMS. So you people should also have that pride that you are a part of DMS. With that few words, we will see the class. First year, I will most probably handle all the papers. All the 4 semesters. I'll be coming for all the 4 semesters probably. First semester, I'll be taking management economics, and in the second semester, I'll be taking research methodology. In addition, I'll be taking accounting for managers for the data analytics students also. With this, I welcome each of you to this program, and I wish you a very good future. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Madan sir. Now, students, you would have now heard about our faculty profile. They are highly qualified, rich in their experience, and they are always making new marks. This is one of the highlights by which almost all the ranking institutions are ranking our B school in a very high rating. And now it is that I thank all the faculty for joining this orientation and introducing yourselves.